Charlie Kirk himself as an advisor to the Trump administration and as a mouthpiece for a lot of the most reactionary right-wing sentiments being expressed in this country, has routinely talked about how gun violence is a unfortunate but necessary side effect of having the freedom of the Second Amendment. Okay? Quite literally, he has verbalized his opinions on this issue with the false notion, with the false assumption that it might not ever happen to him. And in a moment like this, a reasonable government would say, all right, enough is enough, okay? But one that hasn't said that in the aftermath of Sandy Hook is most likely not going to say that in the aftermath of this incident as well, especially considering that there are school shootings happening with regular frequency. As I've said already, the Charlie Kirk shooting is the 46th school shooting that has taken place this year. 46. It is pretty crazy, however, that Charlie Kirk had on numerous occasions, not just in 2023, numerous occasions had said gun deaths are unfortunately worth it to keep the Second Amendment. The person who inevitably advocated for his own demise. You only say this if you don't think that you will ever be a victim to such political violence. I don't know if we'll ever actually get Republicans to understand this. I don't think they will. I don't think they'll understand it. They didn't understand it when Steve Scalise was shot at the congressional baseball game. They didn't care about it. Steve Scalise himself personally continued to be a strong advocate for freedom to purchase weapons. They didn't understand the dangers of COVID when Herman Cain died. They just don't care. They don't care. I very much understand that this is a constant reality, for the record. Both political violence and just gun violence in general. This is part of the reason why I say, like, the ways in which, like, liberal media is going to cover the story is going to launder his reputation and whitewash what he has done, whitewash what he has said, because this is a horrifying incident. He has talked about how there shouldn't be any empathy in the aftermath of school shootings. He said it all. He has said over and over again that it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment.
Having an armed citizenry comes with a price.
The reason why I'm showing this is not to say, well, you know, tough titties or whatever. The reason why I'm showing this is because Charlie Kirk is a part of a machine, a right-wing media machine that has actively worked every single day to make your coworkers also feel comfortable with this violence. And if you're a right-winger that's tuning in right now to watch me to see if I'll celebrate this or something, even though you fundamentally misunderstand my commentary if you think that I would do so, understand that the reason why I'm showing this is because these people have played a formative role in Charlie Kirk's situation. He has played a formative role in his own demise by playing a part in a media landscape, in a media environment that normalizes this death and destruction.
And that is part of liberty. Wow. Driving comes with a price. 50,000 people die on the road every year. Wow. That's a price. You get rid of driving, you'd have 50,000 less auto fatalities. But we have decided that the benefit of driving, speed, accessibility, mobility, having products, services, is worth the cost of 50,000 people dying on the road. Wow. So we need to be very clear that you're not going to get gun deaths to zero. It will not happen. Right. You can significantly reduce them through having more fathers in the home, yes, by having more armed guards in front of schools. Yes. We should have an honest and clear reductionist view of gun violence.
Yeah, in his moment of his passing, when he got shot in the neck, he was still advocating for not only less gun control, but he was literally talking about how the only solution to gun violence is by stopping trans people. Because when he goes to these events, there are a lot of people who don't agree with him who attend to debate him. And one of these people was actually asking him a question. He said, Charlie, do you know how many trans people are mass shooters? He said, I don't know. Far too many. And he responded with, do you know how many mass shootings? He said, there's only been 5. Do you know how many mass shootings have taken place in the last 10 years? As opposed to the last 10 years of 5 trans shooters. And while he was in the process of responding to that by saying, well, do you mean gang violence or without gang violence? He got shot in the neck. Down to the last moment, Now, if people don't understand that that in and of itself, the way that people feel about this issue when they reiterate these talking points, when they don't fully comprehend the severity of the problem of gun violence in this country, even in this moment, if they don't understand, like, what is the reason why it happens in the United States of America and it doesn't happen anywhere else to the same frequency, to the same magnitude, I don't know what will cause them to recognize it. And my fear is that in the absence of that recognition, in the absence of critical examination, I fear that people are just going to become increasingly more mad. And that's why there's a lot of talk, as this chatter says, about getting revenge on leftist commentators. What's the proper response to this? There is no proper response to this. There's nothing. There's nothing you can say or do. What are you going to do? Tell people don't do that? That's not the answer? That's not going to stop people.
But we should not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe. So then how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at baseball games? Because we have armed guards outside of baseball games. That's why. How did we stop all the shootings at airports? We have armed guards outside of airports. How do we stop all the shootings at banks? We have armed guards outside of banks. How do we stop all the shootings at gun shows? Notice there's not a lot of mass shootings at gun shows. There's all these guns because everyone's armed.
We live in the United States of America where everyone has a gun. Even Charlie Kirk's own assessments about, like, well, gun violence is a necessary byproduct of having freedom. It doesn't mean that, like, you know, this is a cause to be celebrated. I know that our enemies, people in Charlie Kirk's audience, for example, would be celebrating if the same thing had happened to me. Okay? But it doesn't matter. Like, be more careful. If not for morality, be more careful in terms of self-preservation. Because political violence happens no matter what. Okay? And there will be violent retaliation as well. So just think, okay? Just think. I don't know. Part of me thinks that the Republicans will try to use this as an opportunity to do insane shit. Part of me worries about the vengeance quest that I suspect some people will go on in the aftermath of this. And I, of course, recognize that, you know, this puts, you know, a lot of people that I know and even myself in the crosshairs. Beyond the adventurists and people on a vengeance quest that might choose to take matters in their own hands, there's also obviously the administration and what they will use, what they will do in the aftermath of this incident. It's also worrisome.